So, based on the title of this video, you're probably wondering where Retrospective 2 is, or the second retrospective video of Playtest 2. Honestly, in my opinion, not too much has changed with that, so I didn't bother to make a video. There were some notable changes, such as the variable zoom. Can't you change Magni now? Yes, I can. Look at this. Doing it.
Trying to get to you, SL.
But suppression was the big point of argument, and essentially what that boiled down to, shout out to Dubs for this graphic here, essentially what this means is that it required much more accurate suppression to suppress someone in Playtest 2 than in Playtest 1, rewarding accurate suppression rather inaccurate suppression. To me, this was, for the most part, a non-issue, which is why I never made a second video. But here is a retrospective on the third video. Hopefully you guys see where I'm coming from and agree. If you don't agree, please leave a comment down below. Let's discuss some of these issues and make Squad a better game. Welcome everyone to Retrospective 3. This is a look back at the third Infantry Combat Overhaul playtest. First, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the patch notes and the changes. I'll give my personal comments on it. We're going to then go into what I call the gripes and bullshit section, which I think you guys will enjoy. And then we'll get into the bugs, and then we'll finally end on just my overall thoughts and feelings on the changes. So starting up, reduce the minimum suppression percentage required to trigger suppression visual effects. Reduce the suppression percentage at which the VFX appear at their maximum. So this essentially means we don't have any hard numbers, or at least I haven't seen any hard numbers. Basically, if you go back to when I talked about Retrospective 1 in the beginning of this video, it's in between the two. So you don't need as accurate suppression to cause suppression, but it's not, you can't just shoot anywhere and just suppress someone, which I think felt good in terms of how the suppression worked. Adjusted handling properties of rifles, something between PT1 and PT2. Personally, again, with PT2, I did not feel a change between PT1 and PT2. So I'm not exactly sure what it meant, but what they meant by that. But it felt all right. It didn't feel bad. When the player is in a hurt state, revived but not healed by a medic, stamina will now regenerate up to a maximum of 50%. While hurt, the stamina regen rate is 33% of the normal stamina regen rate. This change should preserve the need to find a medic after being revived without the new gunplay movement tuning making it overly punishing. These were needed. In my first Infantry Combat Overhaul, I pointed this out, is that now with the sway, suppression, and dealing with your stamina sway, you have 3 different variations of sway that you need to deal with, and I think this is a step in the right direction. But in my opinion, I believe that stamina needs to be doubled, maybe even tripled, because now what it is that you start your sway is affected if you're below 75% stamina, and you still have the same amount of stamina as you did before in base game. I believe stamina in base game affects your sway or your accuracy. Sway is the right term, at 50%. Or at least that's what it feels like. But because it's so low, it's like sprinting shouldn't even be used. And while that is realistic, you don't really sprint in combat. Sprinting is used to run to and from combat, which is most of the time when you're sprinting anyways. So one of the things that I brought up, and I hate to mention another game, but Tarkov has leg stamina and arm stamina. One of the things is I wish sprinting was the speed it is in live, or at least double the speed as it is in game, because or say have a Call of Duty tactical sprint option, because when you sprint, you want to move, you want to cover ground. And as long as I have legs in a game, or as long as players have legs in a video game, they're going to run from objective. That's not going to change. Yes, it's better if you take a vehicle, which is always what you should be doing, but that is not what's always viable or what can happen. So sometimes you need some speed, and sprinting everywhere, stopping, and waiting. And you'll see this in my bullshit section. You'll see a lot of the times that I go to move to engage with someone, I'll stop. I'll literally watch them. I'll wait for them to see me first before I fire, or my stamina gets above 75%. And it's just like the goofiest thing, and it makes it not fun to just sit there and wait for my stamina to get up just to make sure that I can 2-tap them and put them down. It's not fun. Adjust the threshold at which the stamina bar starts to change color to better align with the stamina loss starts to affect weapon handling. Love this. This change needs to be in base game, in my opinion. Oh, I missed one. Stamina bar now hides when hurt state, revived but not healed by a medic. The maximum hurt stamina level 50% is reached to avoid the bar being stuck on the screen until you find a medic. All right, cool. Quality of life stuff. Reconfigured the AK-12 iron sight, disabled experimental clear sight picture. Basically, instead of ADSing with the iron sight when you're under sway, you would cant it to the side, and that was only with iron sights. I don't have any image, or I could probably pull up some video of that, but I don't have any. You just have to trust me. I thought it was a cool feature, but in my opinion, the AK-12 iron sight still isn't viable under duress. And you're gonna hear me say duress a lot, and duress is a catch-all term for out of stamina and or suppressed under duress. Okay. Configured the RPG-7 iron sight variant. Cool. Adjusted the M3 Maw's reticle to improve accuracy, especially at longer ranges. Love this one, the M3 Maw's. So it actually feels usable now. A lot of the times when you're fighting with a rocket launcher, unfortunately I don't have any video or clips. When we're fighting with these rocket launchers, you have to sprint to... So a lot of times when you're using the Maws, you have to sprint to go in fire. And the Maws isn't exactly a sniper of an optic or an iron sight anyways. I mean, it's obviously adjustable, but it's thick as hell is what it is. So what made it difficult is when you're under duress, stamina loss, or suppression, it was almost impossible to keep the iron sight sighted through the peep sight to fire in any sort of accuracy. Now, it's much, much, much better. Again, I don't have any clips, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Corrected zeroing for SV98M at 1,000 range, sweet at 1,000 meters range. Added new reload sounds for the SVDM, sweet. Added unique cycling magnifications on scoped weapons. Didn't notice that one. Bug fixes. Fix the PIP scope, sometimes rendering at much higher resolution than necessary, sweet. Fix PIP scopes, sometimes rendering when it should not have been. Fix PIP scopes, sometimes failing to render at all. Sometimes failing to render at all. And I think I have a clip. Maybe I'll show it here.
They're shooting us.
Yeah, I don't know from where though. I'm looking for him. What?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this potato? I got the black scope glitch that was apparently fixed. Yeah, it was a whole thing. Fixed weapons not appearing in the correct size on the screen after spawning in. Fixed several visual discrepancies with the AK-74M Grenadier, including unintentionally harsh ADS transition. Never tested that one. Fixed soldiers' legs swelling up when aiming certain weapons. Oh my. Great. And known issues, the character's hands sometimes don't move with the gun when focused. When focus zoom shift key. And DX12 cannot be enabled through the in-game menu if you want to play in DX11. DX11 cannot be enabled. If you want to play DX11, right-click squad it in the public test app. In their Steam library, choose properties, go to general tabs and launch options, and type tab DX11 when you launch the game. So overall, not that much. And then shortly after, I believe, let's see, yeah, it looks like it took about 5 hours. A hotfix did come out. Personally, I didn't feel a change with either. After the hotfix, but it says here we are aware with an issue within our test build that heavily impacts the quality of gameplay. In this case, specifically impacting suppression, one of our key gunplay mechanics for the infantry combat overhaul, as we rely heavily on the feedback from you, the playtesters. On a feature this major, we are hotfixing the issue to ensure players get a proper look at the intended suppression changes we made this weekend's playtest. The word for was skipped. This hotfix is now live to all squad public testing users, so please update your clients. If needed, please restart Steam to download the update. Yes. Also, there was an issue where the game did not want to run well under 2K. I run 2K, so I never felt this at all. So if there was issues with blurriness, it's probably because you didn't read this and update your resolution as you would need to. There's also an issue with, or if that didn't work, changing your FOV to above 105 would have helped you. And that's pretty much it. So really not that much, but I did get a lot of really good clips and comments and some things that I'd like to hit on. And of course, we'll end with an overall feel for it. This next section is called gripes and bullshit. We had just some of the things that I wanted to kind of point out that were a little goofy. First up, we have the MG bipod issues. This one was actually kind of annoying. So as someone who has been playing almost exclusively squad leader for the past 4 or 5 years, it's been a while since I've really used the MG, and now MGs are very important for suppression. They put a lot of bullets down range and keep a lot of heads down. Thus, I specifically wanted to highlight this. Well, it's a suppression machine too, but
fucking headshot magnet now, right?
It used to be. Now it's kind of like, not get your fucking head down. But I still can't hit dick. So guy in Doria of Barn.
Fine, you get a head down.
Ah, bitch.
Oh fuck.
Someone in my chat when I was streaming came up with an incredible idea that I fucking loved. And that was, so in wooded areas, there's a lot of dead trees. And my thought was that these dead trees and stumps are absolutely perfect for bipoding on. While it may not fix the issue, as you saw in the last clip, the dead trees would help out immensely, and they would obviously have to be hand placed and strategically placed in certain areas. But I think a good smattering of down trees would help alleviate some of the issues as a band-aid fix, but not a stitch, not a patch, not a full fix, if you get what I'm saying. One of the other things I wanted to hit on, especially with this clip here, is that the MG blur is regardless of MG, it's just way too much. Activating the noisemaker.
Enemy Bradley southeast.
Alright, rally sound. Just try not to shoot off the rally.
Yep. So not only do you have a weapon, which now has sway that you are bipoded down on, but now I have blur. And on top of that, I also have the decreasing of accuracy, if you want to call it. The cone of fire kind of spreads out as I hold down the trigger longer. And honestly, it almost feels like they don't want us to hit anything with these MGs. They don't want us to be point shoot targets. And I can kind of understand that. So as a trade-off, I mean, the blur is fine. Not being able to see it, like, I get it. It's somewhat realistic. But MGs, including in real life, are fully automatic snipers. I mean, they can reach out and touch somebody from very far away. At least the US ones can. Thus the scope. It's an improved scope, but it should be more magnified than the ACOG. Should be a ×6 if I remember right. And yeah, the blur is just it's too much, but also the cone just makes it. I felt like my only job was suppression, and I really couldn't hit anything. Case in point with this clip. What the fuck? Yeah, fun stuff there. So I don't have it in my head of like, oh, you know, how did you... What the fuck was that? Oh my god. So moving on, next I played a little bit of the marksman kit. I know, visual proof of the winter sins, playing with the marksman kit. Enemy infantry direct north of Fab. Not sure if they're moving into us. Oh, never mind, I see him. Gotta play it, gotta show you how it is. Marksman may, like I said before, marksman still, it may have usability. And using it here, it has usability.
I hear armor up here.
Oh, yep.
They're now watching the crossing here. Red house, second floor, I think.
Especially with the variable zoom. But my few gripes on that are basically the un-ADS blur. So un-ADSing the weapon, a blur after it, shown in this clip here. That's just way too much. Like it's way too slow. I don't feel like I'm seeing anything. I almost feel like I get punished for un-ADSing. So I have to choose to either stare down the optic and just zoom around, or you know, pull back and lose my vision for a solid 3 minutes. Punk ass bitch. Next up, something else I wanted to say was the in-scope blur. This was not touched at all with this PT, with this playtest 3. It was touched in playtest 2, and I didn't hit on it. But this is just rough. Watch this clip here to see exactly what I'm talking about. First playtest, this inside scope blur was pretty bad. Now it's better from playtest 1. But look at that. I mean, that is just... For one, that's not how optics work in real life. For two, this just looks awful. And in terms of like trying to identify targets at a distance, like I have to wait that half second. You're probably thinking like, oh, that half second, that really doesn't matter. Well, you know what? It does. Speed is everything. And you're saying, oh man, it's not a speedy game, Winter. Well, you know what? It's still a shooter and it's still supposed to be fun. And this does not make it fun. It makes it such a pain in the ass to use. Well, that's why there's other optics. And honestly, now using a red dot sight is a viable alternative to dealing with that. Even though I have range, what I know is I have first sight identification on exactly where I need to shoot. Also, just noticing that red dot is kind of fucking dim. I know they increased the ACOG sharpness. How does the blur then clear up sight picture compared to PT2? That was the only one I was able to hop in for. How does this blur then clear sight picture compared to PT2? Absolutely no change. Some dude, absolutely no change. So this is something that I bitched about in my first video, between PT1 and PT2. Basically, ADSing from PT1 looked garbage, and if you want to see what it looked like in PT1, I can show you. But the ACOG, specifically the M150, got an improvement. This is much better than what it was. Much, much, much better. But it's still rough. This is rough. This is just rough. I don't care about the sway. All I care is the blur inside the scope. The outside scope blur could not give a fuck less. Getting shot at could not give a fuck less. I'm simply talking about non-duress. Duress is low stamina or getting shot at. ADSing and focusing the optic. That, for one, that doesn't make sense. For two, there's just no reason for that. So swapping on over, if you want to see what it used to look like, I did see it. I didn't put it into practice because I'm just bitching about the things that I care about. So first I'll show you the squad leader's 1P78. So this is the 1P78, right? zoom in, there's a tiny bit of blur. If you're careful with it, you can see that it's there. There is a little bit of blur. It's right there. It's like that halfway in between as it's coming up, but it's not, you have your eye against the eye cup. This is acceptable, level of blur. Now, that's a huge improvement over PT1. This was in PT2 as well. Now, if you want to see what PT1 blur looks like on the 1P76, the PKP never got that change for some reason, and I understand why. So this is standing up, not crouched, and ADSing. Do you see that? That is fucking... All right, I'll aim at something that you guys with the lower resolution might be able to see. That is just fucking garbage. Swap back over to this. Boom, clear sight picture every single time. So hopefully you understand exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about in-scope blur with these weapons, because it is a little rough and it takes away usability from using the scope. I feel like I'm forced to take out my binos and scout the area rather than using the binoculars as I would normally use them. And that's just not fun, and I particularly don't like that. So this was kind of an idea that I thought of on my own. This isn't about the playtest at all, but the rearm. So now that ammo is such a hot commodity, playing the playtest as long as I have, one of the issues is constantly running out of ammo, and boy, were we running out of ammo. And I realized this when I was playing MG for the first time in literal years, but regardless of if you use all the bullets but one, or one of the bullets, the rearm cost for it is still the same, which is going to eat away at the overall effectiveness and ammo of the team. In fact, almost every single game on multiple servers and different playstyles that I played, ammo was always a constant concern. So you constantly had to have someone running lodges, which to me felt like there was more of a reward for people in the back lines, camping, just being a nuisance rather than actually playing the game. And that's not fun for me whatsoever. So something that I thought of or proposed was to make it retroactive. You shoot one bullet, maybe the MG, it costs 15 to rearm that box mag. Maybe make that into 15 parts, divide whatever the ammo count is. Let's say it's 100, divide that by 15. You get 6.66, repeating, of course, bullets per piece of ammo that you would use. So one ammo would regen 6 bullets in that box mag. Making it retroactively like this, I think, would help alleviate some of the issues, at least with MGs, who are definitely more encouraged to start pouring it on. With that being said, regular standard AR magazines are still 5 ammo. 30 rounds in there, you're telling me that that's 90 rounds? I mean, it checks out in terms of the math, but now sustaining a firefight with ARs and riflemen is just not a viable thing anymore. At least it doesn't feel that way. One of my proposed ideas was to either reduce the cost or, again, retroactively making these changes to the cost being tied to the bullet amount empty. It's just, with the amount of work, or with the amount of shooting that needs to happen, there has to be a change with ammo. There's an ungodly amount of ammo being used. So now down to the bugs. I only saw 2 bugs here, and I know one of them. The other one surprised me. Take a look at this clip here. What the fuck? What the fuck? Do you see that, or is that just me?
See what? I don't see shit.
There's just random smoke here.
Nah, I think it's just you, bro.
Why? This game's fucking bugging. So this smoke appeared out of absolutely nowhere. I don't know what caused it. I have no clue. To me, it looks like it's the vehicle gunner smoke of Bradley, a striker, a BTR, something like that. But it was just in the completely wrong place, and it was a little weird. Next up, we have the black scope glitch. Why did I paint my scope black? I just thought it was fucking cool, dude. I just thought this was the greatest thing. As if I could fucking see out of it anyways. Dude, players in fucking OWI feedback be like, yeah, scope's a little blurry. This is what I think is well known. I'm not sure if it's actually reported on. I would think it is reported on because it was in playtest 2. But essentially, if you go from a, let's say, a squad leader without an optic while sitting in a vehicle, and then swap over to a squad leader with an optic, and then jump out, the inside of the scope will look like this. Time to sight in.
An engine by me. Let me lodge you here. Let me lodge you.
Nice.
There's 2 over here near me.
Cap's house on Berta. We're over halfway. 5 chevrons.
I got one of it.
That might be both of them then. I'll push. Yeah, sick. Good kill. Now, I talked about it on, I think, a little bit in the beginning. I thought I talked about it somewhere. But essentially what I'm trying to get at is this bug still exists, and it sucks. The fix for it that I've found, if you guys have this issue in the future, let's say OWI doesn't fix this, is if you go back to that vehicle while outside of the vehicle, switch to iron-sighted whatever, and then swap back to a scoped whatever while outside the vehicle, it will fix it. This bug is repeatable, and I don't think I got the clip for it. I didn't cut it out, but it's very much repeatable, so it's a little weird that it's still in. All right, down to pretty much what you guys came here for, the too long didn't listen. Honestly, in terms of changes, what it feels like to me is that the game feels better. And I'm not sure if it's me and my hour time pumping it in, because I am literally trying to pump hours into this update to get a feel for it and get used to it so I can give an honest and valid opinion. But the issue that I have is that I can't tell if it's these changes that are making it better or if it's me getting more experienced. I would say that there is a lot of room for error now when playing the game, which obviously isn't fun. But the game, every single kill feels a lot more rewarding. No, I can't go on a 10-20 kill streak. I'm definitely not as quick or as accurate as I was, but it's definitely turning into a different game where even a single kill feels like it feels rewarding, is what it is. Those simple 5-kill games and 2 deaths, those are going to be the norm for a little while until people understand that you need to move slower and play as a squad. With that being said, vehicles are definitely still OP. I did not do a lot of vehicles this playtest because I wanted to really get some footage to show you guys on this update. I know some of you guys can't play on the weekends, you work weekends, so I'm here for you. With these changes, I say this, I've said it, I say it every single time I stream these updates. This change is coming. Whether we want to or we want it to or not. We can do our best to try to adjust or to criticize certain aspects to it. Thus, what I'm doing here with a video. But give your feedback, and we can make it a better game. Is it going to be a comp game? Not anymore. Honestly, I think comp is going to be dead in the way that we knew it. But that relies on the players. I understand that a lot of comp players are feeling very disheartened by this update. It feels different to what they became so skillful at. And one of the things I've been wanting to say in a video for a very long time is your skills are still there. Your skills are absolutely still there. The only thing that's changed is everyone at a basic infantry shooting level is back to 0, if you could call it that. But I'm quickly picking it up. I know it may not seem like it, from all the bullshit clips I have there. But I didn't show you all the kills that I got, which strongly outnumber the amount of bullshit deaths that I got. I would say that the picture-in-picture is incredible. It looks great. I absolutely love it. Besides the inside scope blur, suppression, absolutely incredible. It feels like you are getting suppressed. Going back and thinking, and you know, going back to Infantry Combat Overhaul 2, I don't recall suppression being an issue, but looking at Dub's chart, that's exactly what it was, is the first shot was not causing suppression. And I don't like that as a realistic stance, because if you get suppressed or if you get shot at in real life, it's not like you're, oh, it's not within 10 meters of me, I'm not scared. No, that's not what it is. It is legitimately someone shot at me, I want to get the fuck down. And that is what it feels like, and that's how it should be. So in terms of what PT2 or PT1 gang, I would say I'm neither. But this PT3 was a step in definitely the right direction. I'm excited to see what Dubs comes up with for a PT3 on values, because while I can give my thoughts and opinion on it, I like to see the values, because the values really highlight to me what the effects are, and I can say, oh yes, I like that. Yes, I don't like that. General consensus is it was sitting at man, I want to say 60-70% with PT1. PT2 move that up to 70 to 80. PT3, it's growing on me. I think I'm 80. I think I'm a solid 80 now for sure. Maybe not so close to 90. I feel like there just needs to be a little bit of changes. I would not go into the sway section. I would say I feel like I'm more in control of my player than previous playtest, but again, I believe the majority of that is me getting used to the gameplay mechanics. I still believe that the shouldering to hip fire time is way too slow. I don't want to be able to quick fire. I don't think that is definitely never coming back, but it feels like I'm just the slowest person in the world to get my gun up to fire when sprinting around a corner. I believe the sprint should be a tactical sprint, and that would make sense why I can't get my weapon up and ready. But the regular walk forward feels like I'm tiptoeing. Walking sideways feels like I'm crawling. And it's just, the movement changes feel good. It's just a little bit goofy because everything feels slower unintentionally. Sprinting almost isn't even worth it anymore if I only have 25% of my stamina bar to use. I would say that playtest 3 was the buggiest one. Multiple issues, including the very aggressively annoying sprint button being stuck, which when stamina is everything, just is the most aggravating thing you've ever met in your life. It's got some changes. We are getting closer to a more enjoyable game, but my recommendation for you guys is to get in there, get used to it, and play it, because that's the only thing that's going to get you through this transition time. Obviously, OWI doesn't want to alienate their player base. Oh my god, this sprint bug.
Shit, shoot, samurai. Fuck! God damn it.
No! What the hell was that? Bro, fuck the pistol. I just got fucking blocked. Get yourselves healed. What is this point aiming bullshit? One coming in. Point aim works my fucking butthole. But you guys watching this video, you guys know me. I'm not a comp player, but I do have comp ties, you could call it. And then I got a little milsim ties. All right, I'm not a mil simmer. I'm mil, which is arguably worse. Definitely on my back. But each of your opinions, thoughts matter. So the more feedback you give, the better, and we can turn squad into a still very much enjoyable game. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you viewing the video. Definitely let me know what you thought in the comments down below. I won't reply to everyone, but I'll do my best. Hopefully we get another playtest in about 2 weeks. No idea when is this actually being released. If I'm gonna pull a number out of my ass and guess, I would say end of August. That seems pretty soon, so I might even say end of September. We have some tunes and changes to make. Oh my fucking god. Absolutely. But thanks for watching, guys. Once again, I appreciate it. If you like what you saw, please leave a like or a dislike. Check me out on Twitch. I would definitely call myself a streamer rather than a YouTuber. Case in point, this very awful video. Sorry about that. But thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you guys next time for the 4th playtest retrospective. Over anything else, because you really can't misconstrue what a gun truck is. What the fucking potato was that? Oh my god. You're not okay.
I need help.
Clipped. Wow. Wow. Were you shooting directly at him?
Yep.
Oh my fucking god. Yep, that's going in. Come on, Blueberry, shoot at the helicopter. You know you want to. Shoot at it. Let me know where you are. That was actually kind of a... Oh, they're already on armory. Solid, solid.
We're finally gonna lose the game.
It is, but I'm on 240, so I can't do squat. Yet somehow I got shot.
Creeping Garage is going on Creeping Garage going on
What the fuck is this game, dude? Another list to the bullshit. Shot out of vehicle. I bet I was sitting on the outside of it somehow.